It's Saturday night at the Hard Rock Cafe. But it could be any Pittsburgh night spot over the past 30-plus years. Joe Grushecky and the House Rockers have been rocking the house for a long, long time.
The band, they follow me down a lot of weird paths some nights, But we like to play. We like to play. You get your money's worth when you come and see the House Rockers.
They play for a loyal legion of fans, year after year, decade after decade. Speaking of which, Gina Tokar first caught the House Rockers at the now legendary Decade in Oakland.
Some older friends of mine took me to the Decade when I turned 21, so it's been about 1980 or so, and we went to the Decade and saw this band. We were just blown away by the energy, started following him, and his songwriting is just so good.
They play with a passion that is Pittsburgh to the core. Fans may move away, but that blue-collar beat stays with them.
I came from Phoenix, Arizona, because my sisters told me that Joe Grushecky was playing, and I said, oh, I remember him from when he used to play at the Decade.
The Sweathelm brothers, New Jersey natives, recall the night fellow New Jerseyite Bruce Springsteen showed up at Nick's Fat City.
Two guys from Jersey living in Pittsburgh win tickets now to see Joe Grushecky. Who showed up? The Springer. And he says, it's not my night. It's Joe's night. I'm playing backup tonight. I'm coming home.
And this is also Joe's night, but again, he'll share the stage. The band that has recorded more than a dozen albums is celebrating its first ever DVD release party.
There's a lot of people. There's more people here tonight than there was at Night of the Hard Rock show, isn't there?
Ohio filmmakers Steve Caniff and Jim Justice are here for the Pittsburgh release of their first DVD, a documentary called A Good Life, the Joe Grushecky story.
We got a group together, we called ourselves the Brick Alley Band, and we just practiced and practiced and wrote and practiced every night.
A Good Life is the 90-minute, 33-year history of one of America's hardest-working bands.
Absolutely pristine footage of Joe, 30 years ago that Joe didn't even know existed. This was an incredible find for us.
The neophyte filmmakers didn't know that Joe Grushecky existed until Steve Caniff attended a Heinz Hall concert benefiting Pittsburgh flood victims in the wake of Hurricane Ivan. He went to see Bruce Springsteen, but came away impressed by the Pittsburgh guy who shared the stage with him.
I went to that show and I was hooked, immediately hooked, and Jim, who's always been a film buff, just wanted to make a documentary about something.
The structural steel draftsman from Cincinnati teamed up with the department store manager from Columbus to form a company aptly named Flat Broke Productions.
I always wanted to do it, but I didn't think I could because I didn't have the money or the help. And Steve kind of came into the picture and got me off my butt, and he proved to me we could do it, and we did it.
The Brick Alley Band became the Iron City House Rockers just in time for that first album.
We were hoping we'd have our pictures on a record. The meanwhile, it's this beautiful model. It didn't take away from the thrill of actually seeing the record. That was the thing. I just remembered, well, we made a record.
And Pittsburgh responded. The Decade was packed night after night.
Have a good time, but get out alive.
An album called Get Out Alive came with rave reviews that resounded nationwide.
And the world opened up to us, and we were doing really, really well for this first couple records.
They were on the cusp of superstardom, but the brass ring was always just out of reach.
It's Friday night tonight, here it comes again. When I get
Unfortunately, at the time, the MCA, even having those great reviews, still didn't know what to do with us because we were just, just off center from everything else that was going on.
But Joe Grushecky has made some very good friends along the way.
My compadre, my amigo. Come on out, Joe.
Including the boss himself. Bruce Springsteen shares his friend's passion for blue-collar rock and has recorded many of Joe Grushecky's songs.
And Joe's just a good writer. And the lyrics are always the hardest part. They're like the suffering part. So having someone send you a sheet of them was like, ooh.
The band that Pittsburgh now takes for granted is a sensation in Spain, of all places. The documentary includes video from a tour that played to packed houses and long lines of autograph seekers who might be surprised to hear of Joe Grushecky's day job.
All the clocks in the world are set from where?
Though it's not the coal mine where his father worked, the writer of Working Man's Lyrics earns his pay as emotional support teacher at Stowe Rocks High School. We visited the school on a day when other kids dropped in to really put the rock into McKee's Rocks.
Way after you're done playing basketball and football and baseball and soccer and all that. I mean, you can play music for the rest of your life.
To these kids, Mr. Grushecky is just an ordinary Joe. DVD release night at the Hard Rock is another milestone for this high school teaching rocker, and it's a huge first step for the guys at Flat Throat Productions.
It's incredible to see all your hard work and the desire that you put into something, and to have it pay off like that makes it all worthwhile. His drive from Cincinnati to Columbus, we drive to Pittsburgh for the weekend, shoot some interviews, some concert footage, drive back, get up bright and early Monday morning, go back to our day job. So it really does mirror Joe's lifestyle right now a little bit.
Making a documentary with spare time and spare change can put a strain on the home life.
It's the first time I've been out of Columbus pretty much on the movie, so it was hard, but I think it's all paying off. It's really exciting.
Joe Grushecky would know. He, too, is a family man.
All we have right now is tables for dinner.
Desiree Grushecky greets customers for the dad who chauffeured her around once upon a time.
Of course I'm proud of him. I told him that, I tell him that all the time, that I'm proud of him. Even like after nights like these, playing and just seeing people come out and supporting him, it makes me a proud daughter.
Her brother Johnny has earned a place beside the big guy himself.
If it's in front of, my family at home or in front of, 56,000 people with Bruce Springsteen, it's still an honor, to play with my dad and have him share a stage with me.
A new generation of musicians and fans is falling in love with the House Rockers.
Joe's the whole package. He's not just a great musician, he's a great man. And it's good to have, my son being a big fan the same way.
And what's for a kid to like?
The atmosphere, the music, the rhythm, the beat, everything.
Can't you see that hidden fingerprints on me? Oh yeah, can't you see?
People say, hey, you never made it. Well, to me, I made it when we put out our first record. Everything after that was icing on the cake. And my family's still intact. They're doing great. My son is playing with us. And, it's a thrill. We're passing that legacy from my father and mother gave me. The love of music has been passed on to my son. My son's playing. I have a great family. And, hey, it's been a good life.
Still rocking with Joe Grushecky and the House Rockers. Dave Crawley for On Cue.